Good day, lords and ladies of the internet. I am your host, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I welcome you back to the Sunless Skies. And to everyone that's been telling me how I can fix this sun, I do thank you. We do have things here. Where is it? There. Telling us the strength of the sun. And I'm assuming as that goes down, more and more problems are happening. But we also have the clockwork office, where we can do various things. But I remember noticing something, and that is something very peculiar. The fact that one of the book's stories that we could write about is stealing the jewel of Albion, and for some reason it does use this lady's face. So maybe rescuing her daughter is in fact the stealing of the jewel that is so-called mentioned. And so if we do that, well then I think we have ourselves quite the story there. We also have this, Pestilence. What's this? Since arriving in Heavens through Avid Horizon, you have contracted an unlikely illness. You are turning imperceptibly slowly into glass. Huh. No. No, screw that. I'm not having that happen to me. You can go to hell. So anyway, what's the plan for today? Well, to start off with, we are going all the way back to London. Because at London, we can drop off the port reports for obvious reasons. And then we can buy ourselves a new ship. Because I thought about it, and, well, they take off the price of the new ship from the old ship. Right? So, the fact this thing costs 9,000 and my current ship was 3,500 means the ship was originally 12,500, meaning if I want the expensive ship, there is no reason to not just upgrade it. Upgrade to the better ship for the time being. You know, other than the fact it's going to bankrupt me. But tomato, tomato. Ups and downs to everything. And it won't bankrupt me. I'll still have 1,000 left to my name. That's still a fair amount. And as I say, the only downside to that new ship is that it just requires a little more fuel, and we've already accepted we need obscene amounts of fuel. We also need to find Perdurance, is the thing. Because that's where we need to go for the Councillor's daughter. We also need to go there for the Rat Brigade and the Incognito Princess, but they're minor objectives. Who cares about my officer's well-being, after all? What are you, not on a British ship? What the Christ is with the random smoke there? 10 hull repair. Okay, thank you, that's quite nice. I'm also kinda really hoping that when we hit London, we're gonna get ourselves a whatchamacallit, reduction in terror. Here we go. Excellent, we did indeed. So if we go to the shops now, head to the bazaars, no new prospects, that's kind of concerning and annoying. We go to the marketplace, we sell the bronzewood, we sell all the munitions. Job done. We can go here, and we can buy ourselves. Oh, it's only 6,000 as well. That's even better. I thought it was 9,000. Name your locomotive. Well, we were Aleph before. What Cockshaw, really? What are you going to name us this time? Sith. Okay. Vagabond. Ooh. I am kind of turning into a vagabond, aren't I? Especially if I'm trying to steal from the Queen. Yes, I think I will go for Vagabond. That's quite a nice sounding name. And if we truly want to, we can go back to the old ship and for 6,000 extra money. Not really any loss, really. Well, I suppose I should try and hire new people then, shouldn't I? You recruit 2 to 3 and you recruit 4 to 6. While in the end, it's technically better to probably go with you, it's also a case of, I don't need crew that badly. And also, just to show people what I mean, look at there. You stole a jewel from the Albion's crown. You rescued a hostage from her cage at the heart of the Empire. You must rescue someone from Perdurance. That sounds exactly what we're doing. So now I just need to find out where Perdurance is. Also, our ship just looks much better now. It just looks much better. Oh, that's interesting. Because of the fact that I didn't actually change out the guns, it looks like I've just kept my old gun. So my concern about my gun that I had before, it was completely null and void from the looks of it. But you know what else I can do? I can buy another bronzewood shielding and just equip it right there for more health. Glorious. Simply glorious. We have no fuel efficiency whatsoever, but it's a case of, if we ever go down below 4, well, we know we've got a mistake, and we need to fix that. What does it mean, full steam mode available? I wonder. Because that's an interesting thing to say. I mean, either way, I'm not going to buy it, because we can't justify affording the damn thing, but yeah. So we're now at maximum hull, because I fixed myself. We have a nice big ship full of big guns, and we are more than ready to start heading out. Also, this ship is a lot bigger, and yes, I can still use the... I wonder if you can use a little gun in a big gun slot, but you can't do it the other way round. I don't want to remove my gun just in case, is the thing. I've also just realized we've got more crew members now, which means we're going to be using supplies a lot quicker too. Okay. Hello there, Public Ministry of Public Decency. I have port reports to offer you. The Conjure's secretary gives you a smile. Well, that sounds entirely apostle. Take a seat, dear. She writes a note and inserts it in a pressurely device tube on her desk. 15 minutes later, a general auditor arrives. A portly fellow with white, wispy mutton chops. Pleasure to meet you, my lord. Let's go to my office, shall we? He leads you through the labyrinth corridors. A new bust of the Empress seems to wait around every corner. Deliver my port reports to the general auditor. There we go. You have 2 ministries' gratitude. And the sun has gained 2 brightness, apparently. Don't I want it to lose brightness so I can fix it? Well, either way, I can get a ministry stamped permit now. I'm not sure how much favor I have to do to do that. Make tea with the general auditor. His office is small but comfortable. One wall is lined with books, another holds a window. With a small window box in it appears to be a growing decorative fungus. His office is poky, its walls lined with leathered books. The clockwork sun glows in a window, rose gold in the smog. His window box holds a spray of delicate fungus. He sits behind his heavy many-drawed desk. Well, what can we do for you today? His wispy mutton chops quiver eagerly. Ask what the ministry does, exactly. He puffs out his cheek. Clearly he has a speech prepared. Ooh. A mill makes grain. A factory makes, I don't know, socks and so forth. We, my lord, make Britishness. A priceless commodity here in the heavens. It must be cradled, nurtured, nourished. Without it, we would lose ourselves. He looks out his window, unsettled. We are very small, do you see, and the sky is so very big. Okay. And who determines what constitutes Britishness? Why, we do, in consultation with the most impeccable sources. He indicates the beautiful books on his desks with a smile. Spencer, Terryson, Blake. Payne, you ask? Hardy? Mary Prince? No, he frowns. Not them. Huh. How does the ministry pursue its task? You have heard of their zeal of furnaces to which inappropriate books are committed, of corrections to venerable works, like Shakespeare and the Bible, of their printing presses rattling out endless public information process. How can you correct Shakespeare? How can you get more British than Shakespeare? Firstly, the truth, which is not, I must make clear, the same as facts. Facts can point at anything, but the truth is straightforward. It points us on the right path. Secondly, by respecting and preserving our traditions. They are not quaint, but they are not outmoded. They are tried and tested. After all, they brought us here, didn't they? I suppose. What does the ministry consider an enemy? What threats imperil Albion? Oh, of course, the obvious, of course. Revolutionaries, rebels, strikers, morally depraved. Those who besmirch her renewed majesty's good name. God save her. He rubs his chin thoughtfully. But there are newer, more seditious dangers, too. We stand in the vault of heaven, and we must defend our way of life against the enticements of the new. A thing is not more precious because it is strange. People forget that. Fair? Well, I think that's all there is to talk to you about. Toodle-doo! He calls after you, turning his attention back to a fresh manuscript on his desk. He tuts and takes out a pot of black ink and a heavy pen. It reminds me so much of We Happy Few, that. Alright, Office Works, what did you need? 2 tea and a vision of the heavens. Well, I can get tea from the work world, which is where I'm going now. You know, if I didn't press R to undock after I've already undocked. So we need to find Perdurance, is the thing. We're gonna complete some quests involving the work world, going to it, going back from it and such. And then we are going to see if there's any prospects to go to Perdurance with. And if there aren't, well, that's when we have to then go exploring. Dear God, the fatalistic Sigmund breathes as he takes in the extent of the work world. I still love how big this bloody train is. Because that's one thing you have to admit about this train. It is big. And it can apparently be bounced around a little bit more than the last one. The bit between the last day, a horn blazes. Ooh, what's this? A horn blares, the factory doors creak open. Those work-worlders lucky enough to have reached the end of their service blink in the light of freedom. They were young when they first arrived. Now their skin is caroused and wrinkled, aged not only by hard labor, but the slow, burning light of the clockwork sun. Oh. Recruit crew from the work world. Oh, that works. I got 2 new crew members for free. Nice. Deliver the Sequencer's care package. When you explain the nature of your delivery to the overseers, some appropriately downtrodden workers are summoned. The summoned workers are extensively downtrodden. The overseers take vocal pride in having gone an extra mile on your behalf, and carefully selected the most miserable of a bad bunch. The amassed laborers shuffle their feet, apparently expecting a trick. Finally, a filth-faced man steps forward, ducking his head in greeting, and fumbles the care package open. He picks out one of the bow tie manuals and stares at it for a while. A series of emotions pass very visibly over his face. Finally, he inclines his head and thanks you without inflection. Okay. Fair. I think. Maybe. Let's travel to Little Nice. Hello, Little Nice. I wish to bring gossip to the governor, so he may give me tea. And now I have 2 tea. Recline on a bench. This will lower terror a little. Oh, that was a little bit more than a little. You can relax here in 15 days. Nice. Okay. Am I allowed to make a report? I am not allowed to report from here. Well, I've gotten what I need from the work world. Back to the ministry office. Ooh, what's this? Free stuff? Yes, please. That was 6 gold. Go screw yourself. Here we are, the office works. Order 9821-C. Properly urgent, this one. I'm parched. He reads from the ledger. Required 2 candies of dried tea, for the drinking thereof, and none of that mushroom rubbish neither, nor factory sweepings. We want something that's a bit fancy. Well, there you go. What kind of achievement did I just bloody get? The foreman cracks the lid and inhales a nose full of scent. It would be too much to suggest that this fabled midnight tea that grows beneath a black sun but perhaps you intimidate. It contains a leaf or two of that priceless plant. The foreman is intrigued and pays you promptly. 300 gold. And a very hot sun, apparently. Alright, what else do you want? Well, I don't know. I don't really. Other orders are strictly meant to be done in priority order. Bending like this... Oh, I did it the wrong way. He gave me a job and I didn't do it. Drat. Well, I need munitions, so at least I know what I need next. Also, I really need to level up. The question is what? For a time, you lived the hand-to-mouth existence of a homesteader, carving a home on the frontier of the Reach, a hard-scrabbable existence scratched from the sky. A month at a time, the Reach is verdant, but its homesteads cling to tiny exposed sky rocks. Most fail. In the end, what drove you back to the sky? One bad season, that's all it takes. One harvest where the crops grow, weeping tumors or venomous nodules. One bad wind that rips a house from its mooring. There we go, I now have 50 mirrors. Perfect. Right, where are we going? Well, first up, there is no bazaar here. Damn it. Second of all, heraldical clock. More time must pass before this is available. If that's the case, I highly doubt there's new prospects available yet, is there? Bazaar? No new prospects. Does it tell me when there will be? No, of course it doesn't. Jesus Christ. Well, I guess I'm just going exploring then, aren't I? Right, there's plenty up north we haven't seen, so... I guess that's where we're going. Up north! Go, bat, go! Ah, just found London. There's something unknown there, is there? Well, fine. Hey, maybe Perdurance is in this little area around here. I mean, it's in the heart of London, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. Bat, go find me something. What have you found, Bat? You found something over there. That's good enough for me. Let us see what it is we will find in this direction. Hopefully it's something nice. Something wondrous, something adventurous, something... That's something. There's smoke up there, there's something up there. Question is it good or hostile? And we don't know. Is this another bloody analyzing? But what did you find? You found a dock. Ooh. That alone makes your use just then worse it. What has it found? And the bat has found a dock for us. Hopefully it's Perdurance or something along those lines. I keep moving to move out of the way of these giant, like, blocks of stuff right there. And it turns out I don't need to because they're not things I can crash into. Did you just suicide? Stupid fish. Alright, you stupid fish. Give me your supplies. This is why I keep butchering on board. You know? How quaint. I hope the dress code does not mean I cannot identify with the commoners. That sounds like this might be Perdurance, and quite frankly, this looks something like Perdurance, from the look of it. Tell me it's Perdurance. This looks fancy enough. Where are we? Palace Piper, Luxury Luxia Mare. Workers in neat uniforms guide your locomotive to rest. Tourist engines rest alongside trading engines. Crews got trade gossip and delicacies. Signs in block capitals make abundantly clear this is a place for pleasure. Doesn't sound like the place I was meant to come to. Those look pretty good. I think I can sell those for 200 each. So innately they're technically probably not worth it, but... Ooh, but we get ministry-approved literature here, and we need a lot of that. A lot of that. Exchanged ministry-approved literature for condemned experiments. What? Lawbury Luxor Mare dazzles like a fragrant egg. Lamp-lit, rich brass and Britain in Baraquo. Whatever. In the distant, carnival music mixes with faint cheering. A queue twists and gnarls along the dock. Visitors are not allowed to just stroll into the port. They must be admitted. Every fortnight, the Bureau of Entertainment holds a lottery to give out a number of pauper passes, which grants free admittance. The queue for these is long, but it's not the only way into the port. Bypass the queue at the insistence of the authorities. A fox-jawed man, smartly dressed in cobalt, takes notice of you. He crooks a finger. First time visiting Warrenbury Luxembourg, is it? Come on over here. Okay. The representative of the Bureau of Entertainment introduces himself. We are the department of the Ministry of Public Decency, but we are entirely autonomous. We run this port for the benefit of weary travellers. He leads you past a queue that doesn't even bother to grumble. Yes, I know. Queue jumping is terribly uncouth. But would you rather be mingling with the portalant when you could be enjoying our port? I'm sure once you've seen what we have to offer, you'll need to come back again. He leads you to a fitting station. Everyone goes through this. There's a dress code. Okay. The Bureau of Entertainment wishes to encourage industrious captains to patronize the port. To this end, on a captain's first visit, they are allowed in both without charge and without having a queue. The courier is extensively acquired. Burgundy, tailcoat, caveat, brocade vest in iron and ink, breeches, boots, and a smile like a shark. Periodically, he checks a brass pocket watch, while his grin lengthens and diminishes in turns. He is here to supervise the attire of new visitors to the port. In Warrenbury, everyone dresses up in the heady styles of 50 years ago. The Bureau of Entertainment provides suitable attire for all visitors. What article of clothing are you going to base your outfit around? Your choice of outfit has no impact on the port. It is merely an outlet for your whimsy. A hat! Receive an explanation. The courier flicks a glance at you. I'm sure you know the spiel, but I'm obligated to repeat it. Alright, we'll receive an explanation. In a droll voice, the courtier, who could be anywhere between 17 and 39, explains, Waterbury Luxembourg, the perfect holiday destination, enhanced by visitor attire to the dress code. Do not fear, it is all to embrace the experience you have while you are with us. In addition, as a reassurance about the stringless nature of our generosity, I should inform you, the mists are corrosive and will eat through your regular garments. We provide access to a full wardrobe of coats, waistcoats, frock coats, dresses, dress shirts, breeches, blah blah blah. We love to see familiar faces. It wouldn't do to put you off. Now, pick one item, and I'll choose an outfit that suits it. Well, obviously, it's a hat. What a dazzling cornucopia of grotesquely perfect minery. London would weep in envy. It has to be a hat. It just has to be a hat. The courier summons a pair of pale children, their stained glass eyes, a palette of emerald golds. They'll help you with anything you need, my lord. No favors too big, too terrible. I'd ask that you don't request a bladder as a hat. However, I hate training new help. What? His assistants are as attentive as they are silent. Referringly, they offer possibilities in flattering headgear, fashioners, bowlers, top hat, even veils figured with milky blue seeds pearls, and roses of red sparkle, and roses the red of a broken heart. When you finally dismiss the children, the courtier considers you for a long moment. He turns to the wardrobe and hands you several garments of all your size. Once you are dressed, he dismisses you, shooing you into Warrenbury Luxembourg Mare. The condition of your clothes will limit your time in Warrenbury. Okay, well, let's write a port report, obviously. In the face of the candy cloth, guards are let down. Presented with this much tea, defenses are dropped. This should have been a good place to gather information. Unfortunately, screams of donkeys render eavesdropping impossible. Still, even by itself, a lot of visitors is certainly worth something. Hand your reports, blah blah blah. Explore a tiny lake bedecked with shops. There is more to Warrenberry Luxemere than meets the eye. Ooh, is there now? Attend an exclusive expedition of portraits. A popular portraitist is displaying his latest works. Your connections among the Bohemia set has secured you a ticket. Hold on a moment. You need affiliation 4, do you? Well, I can't access my officers right now. God damn it! Alright. Explore tiny lane bedecked with shops. Wander onwards. This will reduce your attired for Luxembury, but may open new opportunities. Okay. Here's a pass to the beach. No trip to Warrenbury is complete without a jaunt along the beach. You should stroll along the sides with a mist wait in glittering coils. This is a beach. Of course it is a beach. What else could it be? Is there a stretch of pale peculiarities and rolling mists? The air smells of salt and things that mummified in the sun, of cinnamon and licorice. It is pebbles and grains of blue glass, tendrils of something curious and organic, worm-like growths, tuffing through the sediment. This is exactly what beaches are. Walk down the beach. Your clothes have a shine to them, as if afraided into softness. The longer you spend in Warrenbury Luxemere, the easier it is to spot the flaws in the facade. There, another detail, not quite right. A segmented worm with extremely large eyes stares at you mournfully as you pass it by. It is of little import. The way the mists catch and devour the starlight is enthralling. Interesting. Huh. Take a ride on the donkey ride. Sure. No trip to Warrenbury is complete without a donkey ride. A man in a candy-stripped suit bellows, while his donkey drools a string of iridescent tumors. Tumors? It drools tumors? How can you resist? Sure, why not? Thank you. The donkey has been assigned its petite and even-tempered. The donkey assigned is petite and even-tempered, its head mostly well-formed. Pity about the one that had failed to correctly bud. It drags along the sand, its flesh in ribbons. You are returned to the paddock of nervous customers intact and only moderately traumatized. I love how that's me. You are moderately traumatized. Your terror has fallen. Your clothes are soft and comfortable, as if many years worn. Ruminate on the nature of donkeys. They are very earthly animals, but where has their odor gone? The extenuous enthralls they've shed, the vomit, none of it is ever anywhere to be found. This enables you to investigate the weirdness of Warrenbury Luxemere and offers a potentially rewarding opportunity. I'm glad I got a 100% success chance with it then. Okay, what the Christ is this? For all the sounds that the donkeys make, for all the viscera they disgorge, all the creatures they disembowel, they seem to be remarkably sanitary creatures. They disembowel creatures? No trace of their refuge is to be seen anywhere. The beach remains spotless. But there, look, a donkey is vomiting ropes of grey intestine onto the sands. Surely now bile and blood will reveal themselves, except they don't. The air flickers, and once again, everything is completely hygienic. As you become familiar with the oddities of Warrenburg, more of the port will become available to you. In a place so bright and joy-filled, it is easy to be distracted. Whatever it is you'd noticed about Warrenbury Luxemere is gone now. You achieved another worldly artifact, a barrel of hours. Tales of terror. Your clothes are thinning and tattered. They will not remain suitable attire for much longer. Okay. Right. Succumb to the wiles of a rubbery lump seller. It tastes precisely as advertised. Hot, rubbery, faintly sweet, with a dashing of murmurin and brown sugar, with an aftertaste reminiscent of roasted berries, like a memory of better days. You graze on the palmful of lumps before you put the rest away. Okay. This is a very weird place, clearly. Explore a tiny lane bedeckled with shops. Okay, we can do that. This stall has a row of wooden ducks that you can shoot at with an air rifle. A child stands alongside it, crying. He's spent all his money and not knocked down one. When you have a go, it becomes apparent that at least one of the ducks is glued in place. When you point this out, the storekeeper frowns and hastily passes you a prize. Bad man. Bad carnies. It is time to be somewhere else. Warrenbury Luxemere is precisely like the other weekend destination, shabbier than advertised and bristling with ways to spend more money than intended. As you spot what is not right, you start to see what is actually there. Leave swiftly, cold frissions down your spine, dragging your attention southwards. Oh dear, your clothes are in tatters. Well then. Okay. Your beautiful garments are nothing but rags now. Well-dressed onlookers gawk and giggle, whisper and point. You look bedraggled, shabby, and worst of all, unfashionable. You have exhausted these opportunities for now. How much do we pay? 250? Ugh. Prove you are permitted to enter. I need a ministry stamped permit. Fine. Gain admittance by supplying the port authorities with crockery. Okay. Well, now we reach the problem that you gave me a barrel of seasoned hours. By the way, what are my prospects? Avid Horizon and Clockwork Sun. Well, I need to go back to the Clockwork Sun to complete that quest, so let us just check if we have any more affiliation with Bohemia. There we go. I could try and get that thing. Prove you know the right sorts. You are in favor with the chairman. You've done work for those important to the ministry. They will have heard of you. Well, let's just equip you now, just in case, then. You've used up a little of the chairman's favor. The official checks a list for your name, nods, and then clicks his finger twice. The workers of the Bureau of Entertainments quickly command your attention. A man and a woman appearing on each side, both exquisitely dressed, their smiles well-witted knives. Come already. Right then. Let's attend this extensive portrait then, considering I can. The popular portraitist has found success with the impression portraits of his latest muse, who is, he claims, a devil. A small crowd of refined tastes mingle, drink adequate wine, and conduct elaborate theories on the messages hidden in the paintings. Examine the portraits. Each depicts his muse, who is, people speculate, his mistress, in a different pose or table X, and his prefixed portrait of the devil. Okay, let's examine the portraits. Sure, why not? His work is striking. In each piece he takes his muse's perfect features, her delicate lips, her impeccable nose, her amber eyes, her parabolic arches of her eyebrows, and arranges them in impossible configurations upon her face. In a study in solemnity, one of her eyes gazes at you from the center of her forehead. In To Muse at Midnight, her mouth sprays slightly diagonally across her cheek. Follow him to his muse's residence. Where is he keeping her? Who is she, really? You lurk outside the gallery and follow him when he leaves. He leaves late, one hand securing his hat against a stiff sea breeze. You follow him beneath the lampposts and into a tangle of back streets and yards, where he vanishes after rounding a corner. It is as if he disappeared into the shadows beyond the gaslight. Where did he go? You may be able to pick his trail up elsewhere. Maybe if we just wander onwards. No? Did that do nothing? What about a trip to the beach? Ooh, what's this? Seek out the stained glass aristocrats. Okay, rich totter around the port sneering. Their eyes are an affection, a mimicry of mischange done to them to long-term port workers. If you convince them they're your peer, they'll help you pare the lies away. Interesting. A giggling cree of aristocrats stand waiting by the water, their stained glass eyes incandescent. Sea glass, they say when you ask. Hand gathered in the mists, hand inserted by specialists. Your gossip makes them shriek with laughter. When they've finished relishing another's misfortune, they take you by the arms and legs, one with more delicacy than you'd expect. Peel your eyelids apart. Someone gently whispers, "This will only hurt a little." It's a lie. When the tears finally stop flowing, you can see more clearly the port's naive attempts to... This is the problem with having your windows open. Just feathers just appear out of nowhere. When the tears finally stop flowing, you can see more clearly the port's naive attempts to be anything but what it is. Okay. Consider the strangeness of the lanes. The lanes do not appear as advertised, but of all their sins, that one is the least plasmorific. That's fair. This enables you to investigate the weirdness of Luxembourg. Let's do it. What did we get? A cord of cloister nectar. It is most likely the smiles, maybe. Carnivore expressions, slumpy and gleaming, faultless mirrors of the curator's dazzling grin. Or maybe it is the second-rate souvenirs cobbled by the haberdashery in the children's nightmares. The arsenic aftertaste of the candy floss. The arsenic? The wild quality of the local perfumes. Could be anything. Could just be your insecurities. The error of your existence. Whatever the case, the lanes continue their watch. Politely, of course. Clamber through the gnarled door. The door slides like a thief into the penetrity of your vision. Too short to enter unless you crawl. I like the sound of that. Let's do it. You pry the door open. Inside is the throat of a small tunnel. Connective tissue, really. Leading outside is into the star-swallowed twilight. A canal slicked with juices that cannot so much as be seen as felt. Your journey begins here. Push through to the other side. You press down. It sticks to you. Vernix and the warm reek of intestinal meat, gelatinous and incessant. You remain where you are. Did I just get bloody eaten? Perhaps it is the ceremonial nature of the travel. Perhaps it's carelessness. Whatever it is, the voice of the man ahead of you, salt dry and salt cold, comes as a surprise. You're late for the sermon too? He hisses. We mustn't be late for the sermon. His hand grasps yours, tugs you through a translucent membrane, across the path, through church doors. You don't have time to observe the port. The air seizes you, cold as a corpse's kiss, and something about it is wrong. You just tell that now? The bedraggled parson stands before his people, palms raised. Today we stand before they who must grieve, to give praise to their sacrifice. Without them there would be no joy, no agony against which we might juxtapose the sweetness of our existence. Do not ever forget this. If you forget all else, do not forget this. He raises his eyebrows. A pleasure to see a new member. Please join us later on the beach. Listen to the murmuring sermon. You find a seat among the passioners, their skin warbed with strange patterns, tentacular calligraphy that might, quite possibly, be flesh. The bedraggled parson paces across his stage, lit up from behind by his reverence, his conviction in the sultras of his speech. Here is a man assured in his presence, in his precise place in the universe. And remember, next Tuesday, a baptism at the mists. All those looking to experience a closer connection with they who must grieve, come down to the shore. And what are we but motes of thinking salt, but stardust, but orphans lost in the dark, in their infinite compassion? They who must grieve offers a sanctuary, so I urge you, brethren, and embrace their charity. And we cannot, beloveds, allow ourselves to be afraid of they who must grieve. In our ignorance we defame as monsters, but are we not the monstrous ones? We who live so alone? So have faith, my beloved flock. Have faith in the wisdom of they who must grieve. Have faith in them, for they have suffered eons so that we may understand joy. And lo, such are the wages of wisdom. Never again would they be so blind to the suffering that is existence and the loneliness that throbs in the heart of the universe. And we cannot, beloveds, allow ourselves to be afraid. Oh, I already read that one. And so, and if you take one thing away from this church today, carry this with you. Hope. Hope that the world will change. Hope that we will transform under the watchful love of they who must grieve. About the bedraggled parson stands before his people, palm raised. He clears his throat before the parsation of the first syllable. Officials from the Bureau of Entertainment swarm into the chapel, howling like blood-drunk wolves. An uninspected intrusion. There is little resistance from the congregation, merely an affected resignation. The officers from the Bureau of Entertainment are civil as they evict the crowd. Once they surmised that you do not belong, the officers leave you largely alone, occupying themselves instead with the task of excruciating the parishioners. The bedraggled parson's disciples cooperate with the only minimal content, moving where they are told, answering questions when they're asked. All in all, a courteous disruption. Come on, then, let's go, let's go. The ridicule smiles of the officers are identical in their splendor, as the exquisiteness of the uniforms, the oiled shine of their dark hair. The Bureau of Entertainment is the branch of Ministry of Public Decency responsible for the well-being and upkeep of Werbury-Luxembourg. They take their duty seriously. Go quietly. They're too busy pummeling parishioners to listen. You'll surely be able to explain soon. Bolt from the officials. Sod this. You flee from the Bureau of Entertainment enforcers, who are, quite naturally, aghast by your audacity. No, we can go quietly. You really should have said something, coos a woman, box-shouldered and fetching crocodilian. Her smile something scrimshawed into her jaw. Why didn't you say anything? Oh well, too late now. The bruises are charming. I promise. Now off you go. Back to Warrenbury. Back to civilization. She thrusts you through the exit and bolts the door behind you. The journey burns like a star, like the birth of a star, and boils beneath your muscle. Alright, go to the office of the Bureau of Entertainment. It is perched on the lip of the boardwalk, so close to the beach that its rails almost touch the wind-blasted here. Here you will be able to betray the cult and forge a different alliance. Just entering the office is not a betrayal, however. Slide across to the off-season. It bleeds from your teeth, the story that grants you passage, guilt-ridden and sour. Huh. What did that say? If you become too popular with the cult, the ministry will not trust you and not let you in. So I have the opportunity for the cult or the other one now. If we go to the beach, what do we find? Well, let's just walk down the beach, I suppose. And now we have fallen our terror as our clothes just die. Glorious. That works out perfectly. We discovered nothing about the special artist. Oh well. Let us just go to the shops, buy 5 ministry-approved literature. I would love to buy the caged catches, but I can't. So here we are, and let us make our way back to the Clockwork Sun, I suppose. Or London. Probably London. London would be better. There we go. I got my experience for discovering the place now. Glorious. Let's move! Back to London to hand in the port report, and then to the Clockwork Sun to hand in those ministry things, and maybe, just maybe, we will also find ourselves a lovely little prospect taking us to Perdurance. Hello, Mr. Dreadnought. Nice to see you. Oh, that is not what I expected. You're faster than me. I don't like this. I bought a fucking combat ship for a reason! Fuck you! I do not intend to die here. I will be going now. Goodbye. I have lost most of my hull in that fight with that thing. I am not doing that again. Guests are bad enough when they've invaded Takati ships. I do not want to fight a version infected with a dreadnought. I should have realized that sooner and just kept chugging along. This is going to cost a fortune to fix my hull, but we're alive. That is what matters. We're alive. We're alive. We barely dented that, guests. I know the problem with the ship. It's not exactly very mobile. A commotion in the cabins. A stoker has discovered a creature warped affectionately around his Toby jug. A gift from his aunt. The creature is as long as your arm and looks like a leech bred with an eel. It is one of the guests. Guests are drawn to the glimmers and sentiment in the broad, hard skies. One attracts others until they will fill the locomotive like meat fills a sausage. By the time they move on, you will have all been mashed into paste. Conduct a thorough search. If there's one guest, there may already be more. No one knows how the guests communicate with each other across such vast distances, but we need to figure out how. Oh, once you organize a methodological search, during which you dislodge another half-dozen guests. You seek out keepsakes and communal places like kitchens and hearths. You find 3 in the galley, sipping the heat from the stove. Resolvefully, you fling the clanging, oozing midnight things out the exterior hatch. Oh good, we're alive then. I thought if we failed that, we would take a good ton of damage. Or something. I guess it makes sense I'd encounter something like that after fighting guests. Hello, glorious dreadnought. What do I have to do to unlock one of you? To buy myself. Hello, Ministry. Here, have a port report. Thank you. I can now get an invitation to Perdurance as well. I don't think I need one, though. I am now able to inquire about employment. So, good chap, I think I know the answer to your little questions here. Perdurance is if the current time in Perdurance is exactly 7:15 of the clock, and the time in Albion is 18:34, what, pray tell, is the current time in Lustrum? 18:34, because it's the same time throughout everywhere. The train from the Brazian Workworld arrives at 11:30 in London. The current time shown on the Brazian clock is, he winces, 14:30. If the train took exactly 1 hour to make the journey, it does not, of course. What is the accurate time of its original departure from the work world? 10:30. He pauses for a moment before writing down the nudge him, please. Oh, excuse me. He glances at your answers. Well, you seem to have the idea. No point going through the other 248 question. Congratulations, you're officially a Royal Herologist, apprentice 3rd class. He pauses. Speaking of which, I have an assignment for you. Temporal inconsistency. A suitable test of your practical skills. Take this pocket watch. It is both your badge of office and your compass, pointing to the correct time. Wear it proudly. Keep it well. Do not get it wet. The smaller gears are quick to rust. Fair. You have an assignment in the lead beater and stained rod nature reserve. Oh, do I now? Well, if all fails involving saving the woman from Perdurance and whatnot, I suppose I can just, go to complete all these tasks involving the clocks. Bashing into the sides of the walls and everything when I've got so little HP already isn't a good idea. Right then, let's repair my locomotive. Jesus Christ, it's almost 300 gold. There we go. Dear Christ. Celestial exhibit, glass to Luxembourg. 5 panes of stained glass to Luxembourg. Well, at least we know where that is, at least. Your aunt is here. Dear God, what the hell is this? Dear God, somehow she has found her way to the high wilderness. She is trying to get your attention with frantic waving of her horrible hat. I know you've seen me. Listen, I've quite exhausted my possibilities here. I am a serviceable quartermaster. I have friends everywhere, and my scones are to die for. How's that for curriculum vitae? Now, let me aboard. Is she even your real aunt? Either way, you have to deal with her. Officers require a sign-on fee. Fiddle Petty demands as much, and she does make a damn nice scone. This will give you a quartermaster, which will increase your irons by 6 and your mirrors by 2. Right, okay. Well, I suppose we can employ her then. I need a quartermaster, so... She smiles with sincere delight. Here, take my bag. Her bag is very heavy. And my hat. Her hat is also very heavy. Your crew are alarmed when she boards your engine. Their alarm only increases when she begins to pass comment. After a thorough survey of your locomotive, she graces you with a smile. There is work to be done. She extracted gossip from you before she was even aboard. This woman is skilled. Clearly. Very clearly. Well, let's make sure we equip her. Dink. And then you give mirrors. Oh, I wonder if it's coming up with that exclamation mark right there because I'm using this when I shouldn't be. Probably. Probably. Well, let's go to the bank and put in the cloister nectar because I need another one to get the mission from the devil. And then I can probably just... You know, I'm going to store the barrel of hours because I might need that to travel back to the Reach. So, to the sun. So we head to the sun, tell the such and such that we completed that quest. Then, hello there. What can we do this? Reduce terror, we don't need to do that. Break open a coffin, probably need to do that. Investigate a mysterious gleaming. I kind of know that's got better chance, but I really want to try that. Some of the coffins sparkle under the shroud of mist, and what's amongst them? Something larger, wrinkling with starlight. You stand on the footplate, a crewman holding you by the belt of your sky suit for safety. After a few misses with your coal shovel, you hook the gleaming thing. Clouds of shimmering dust float up like a constellation of firefly. Back aboard, you examine your catch. It is a glass hand, perfect in every detail. Its knuckles carouse. When you peer at its fingertips, you can distinguish the halls of fingerprint. A plain silver ring sits on one finger. A bit of money and an otherworldly artifact. Okay. You know, when you realize how wet my hair is, it kind of just shows how much I sweat in just the simplest bit of heat. And you know, my outfit doesn't help either. I mean, this is quite a chunky outfit. But the labors of looking fancy, that's the terminology I'm trying to think of. The labors one must go through. They are just a small price to pay in the long run. Why am I sending out the bat? The bat's not even going to find anything I'm going to grab because it's on the other side. You know, what even is this thing, by the way? It's a regular thing, is it? Well, I'm in the range of a horror right now, apparently. That looks like some big fancy mega ship, you know? The Clockwork Sun. Here we are. It says our terror's going up, but it's not because we're in the safe region of a dome. So. I'm sorry, what did that say then? The sun, the sun, the sun, the sun, the sun. I mean, apparently that's my achievement, so... Let's go to the bazaar and sell all of that ministry stuff. There we go. The sun is at maximum strength now. Glorious. Scavenging with the dawn rats. A nervous face whispers to you from behind a bulkhead. A nervous face whispers to you from behind a bulkhead. Help us, we were brought here to build the Clockwork Sun. Lots of abandoned storerooms. Help us raid them and take your fill. Safety in numbers. The sun despises thieves, but its anger can't shine on all of us. Huh. Send the crew to scavenge for fuel. A risky endeavor, but perhaps it's worth it. Hours pass before your crew members return, rolling freshly unearthed barrels. The leader hands them to you with a carefully gloved hand. Fair enough! Let's write down ourselves a port report. Ready? Head over to Azimuth. And complete your charitable mission. You successfully delivered the manuals to Brazian, no doubt transforming 600 lives for the better. Now they just need some bow ties. The sequencer claps his hands together. I can just imagine their smiles, he says, and oh, their wide, grateful eyes, and their misshapen bow ties crying out for attention. He sends his orderlies to fetch your payment. There's a glint in his eye. I knew I was right about you. The sequence brought us together for a reason. We should send another package. Where? Another crate is dropped at the sequencer's feet by shoveling orders. Here we have a collection of antique but very functional pistols, he says brightly. I was thinking we could send them to London Refuge for the lamentably parentless. I'm sure the little mites will enjoy the thrill of the hunt. What? Suggest an alternative guess. Maybe send them food or medicine or, you know, some money. A sudden look of horror. Ah, says the sequencer. You mean they don't already have those things? Oh dear, it's worse than I thought. He snaps his finger and calls for his orderlies to return. A few hours later, the crew are carrying a package of tinned food and medicine back to your train, bound for the delivery to the orphanage in London. I feel I need to complete that mission before I do anything. So let's just buy, what is it, 7? 5? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 glass panes for Luxembourg, and back to London for the final trip of the day. And you know, because of the fact that we're heading back to London, I suppose I can briefly look at this thing that the Bat found for me. I mean, it did go through the effort of going over there to find it, after all, somewhat, didn't it? And of course, it bloody wastes my time by it being something that needs analyzing. I need to take off the mining drill. I just found some crockery. Something I can use to get into the... You are not where you thought you were. Okay. Double back. This will cost fuel and time. No, press on! Always bloody press on! I don't care about you, burrower! You're nothing to me! Plus, we're in the muddy middle of bloody London. How did we get lost? Also, what's wrong with that guy up there? Excellent. Let's deliver this package, then. London produces industrial quality orphans, which are stored in orphanages while awaiting export to the what? Opening your package, the orphans begin quietly and methodically distributing the food parcels and medicine. At the governor's urging, they thank you. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Well, that was it, so... I'm just gonna leave it there for today, then. Well then, everyone, it looks like we didn't do anything today's episode, so I still need to find Perdurance, which is likely up there. Or there. One of those places we're gonna have to go exploring again. So, everyone, I'm afraid that until then, it looks like it's time for me to bid thee all farewell, good day, and finally, good night.